Hey, what is up guys, MKBHD here, and welcome to Update 9.0. It's been nearly a year since I did my last numbered update video. As you may have remembered, that was Update 8.0 in August 2012, but without any further ado, this is Update 9.0. Now, you might have noticed a short gap between this video and my last video, and that amount of time was basically filled with me going through a sort of a cleaning and overhaul sort of behind-the-scenes process. So I was going over the efficiency of the way I make videos. I felt like it was a little bit inefficient before. Now I've added a couple of tools to help me make that a much smoother workflow, and that's basically what I've been doing for those past couple days. I also made some behind-the-scenes changes in terms of like studying what sort of style video I want to keep doing. I love the style that I've been working on. I've been working towards a certain look of the way I do video, but I've also been watching some other people's videos that happen to be excellent, and a whole bunch of different stylized things. So that basically involved a whole bunch of watching YouTube videos, Vimeo videos, downloading a whole bunch of different effects and animations and transitions and things like that to help me get an idea of what I want videos to look like. But that's what I've been doing for the past couple of days. But now that I'm back in full force, I figured I would pull for some FAQs, some frequently asked questions. So without any further ado, these are the most frequently asked questions that have showed up in the past couple of years, actually, in the MKBHD inbox. A lot of these were recently pulled from Twitter. I asked you guys at MKBHD on Twitter what questions you guys had to ask me, and so that's where my notes are here on my phone, so I'm going to be reading them, and I guess my answers to you, just right off the top of my chest. So the first one is, what's the setup behind you like, and am I still using the Hackintosh Pro? Yeah, so the setup behind me gets probably the most questions out of anything, and I do hope to do a 2013 setup tour project, similar to the compilation I did in 2012. But in terms of just what's always behind me in my videos, I do still use the 30-inch Dell Ultrasharp monitor with the Portrait 20-inch beside it, and it is still flanked by those red and black iKey Audio M505V2 studio monitors. And yes, the Hackintosh Pro is still running the show, so that is what's going to be my editing machine, and it has been since I finished the Hackintosh Pro Project video series. Now, the Mac Pro is coming out very soon, the new 2013 little trash can looking Darth Vader Mac Pro, and so that will have the opportunity to run the show. We'll give it a full fair shot and see how it goes. But until then, and as of right now, it's the 2013 Hackintosh Pro. What am I currently studying and why? I'm currently studying business and technology. I'm a junior in college this upcoming year, 19 years old. And I'm studying business and technology. That's my major. I'm also studying a little bit of marketing and a little bit of information systems. And why? It's just because that's what I'm interested in. That's what I like to study. And this is probably the first year, my third year in college, that I really get to pick the exact courses to be specifically what I'm interested in. So I get to really fine-tune what I learn about this year, and that's definitely good. So I'm studying it because that's just what I like. What camera and equipment do you use? I actually get this question a lot, probably more than any other of the questions that I get. So I actually took the liberty of putting together a list on Amazon. I'll have it as the first link below the like button of all basically the core of the video equipment that I use to shoot and actually edit my videos. So the software and the hardware that goes into the production. So that's the camera, the lens, the microphone, all that kind of stuff. And that'll be the first link below. But basically, I've been using the Canon 5D Mark III for a little bit now, and it's become easily the favorite tool in my bag, but I have some other updates about that to show you very soon, so I'll be sharing that with you also. Why don't you use iPhones or do reviews of them? I just happen to have been using Android for a very long time now, but about that, it's funny. I did try the iPhone 5 for a little while, and you can probably ask TLD today to vouch for that because I bought his iPhone. But I don't really use iOS for the same reason I don't use Windows Phone much, and that's just because I don't find the same level of customization. I tend to like to make my phone my own, and that's why I did the What's on My Android series, but yeah, there's not the same level of customization on Windows Phone or BlackBerry or iOS. You tend to look at those home screens and they all look the same. But that being said, I am giving it its fair shot. I do have some Windows Phone flagships in the house, so that will be very soon in the review series. And also, I definitely plan on giving iOS 7 a full hands-on try. We'll see what the next iPhone is like. I'm not that excited about it because I know it'll be very similar to the iPhone 5, but that's the answer to your question. Why don't you game? Well, I rarely game. That's a good question because I don't really ever review anything gaming related because I'm not a big gamer, but when I do game, it's racing games. It's driving games, driving simulators, racing simulators, Need for Speed, Forza, that type of thing. That's the only way I've ever enjoyed gaming, really. And now I don't actually own any gaming consoles. I have a TV that I've played games on, but it's connected to a computer, not a gaming console. So if you guys want to suggest PS4 or Xbox One for me as someone who has never really played a lot of console games, let me know in the comment section below. I can already see a war starting out, but I just play racing games. That's basically it. That's what I find fun. What's a great 1080p camera for starting out on YouTube? My personal favorite recommendation is the Canon ELPH 300HS. It's a compact camera, so it's a point and shoot and it takes great stills, but it's also very affordable, very well built, takes 1080p video, and takes quality video, so it's a good stuff. It has a wide-angle lens on the front too, I believe. It's a great recommendation for starting out in any sort of media creation experience, especially for starting YouTubers. If you had to pick one smartphone to be your daily driver, what would it be? Oh, wow, that's a good question. Because obviously I don't really use one phone for very much longer than a couple of weeks. I tend to hop around based on the scenario. But, you know, if I picked a single daily driver, I would have to go with the Galaxy Note 2. And now it's not a 1080p display, and I do love pixels, and I'm really disappointed that there's no Note 3 yet. But that's the only phone with LTE whose experience I really enjoy that lasts longer than I need it to. So that's the battery life key factor there. The Razer Max HD is not really fun to use for me, so I would say the Galaxy Note 2, I would be fine with using that as my only phone. If we went back in time, which phone would you have wanted to be a Google Edition phone? Wow, that's a great question. The Google Edition program of phones is very new. We have the Sony one, the HTC one, the Samsung one. Wow. I would pick the actually no, I'm gonna go with the Samsung Galaxy S2 because I used that phone on Verizon and I really loved it, but that was back in the time when TouchWiz was really bad. That was, I think, Android 2.3. TouchWiz was just a mess back then, and I would have loved to use a phone like that with a nice battery life, and one of my first positive experiences with an OLED display. I would have loved to see that phone run stock Android, and of course that was back in the time when if you were into Android, you would root and install an AOSP-based ROM anyway. But enough jargon aside, I think the Galaxy S2 would have been a nice phone to see as a Google Edition. Who do you like better, Duncan33303 or me? This is from Lamar Wilson. Nah, not gonna answer that. Not gonna answer that one. Features I am expecting in the upcoming Android 4.3 update. You know, I'm not expecting a whole lot of change, actually, with the Android 4.3 update. I did a video, in the video I did about the way Google is taking back Android and delivering new updates and new features via the Play Store rather than over-the-air updates. It seems like the next big update we see with Android in terms of features will be Android 5.0 rather than 4.3. So in the 4.x category of Android, I'm expecting to see more and more incremental improvements, performance improvements, little functionality things here and there. There's some rumors about some improvements with the notification panel, for example, some notification shade stuff and new APIs there. So that could be interesting to see how apps tie in and plug into that. But right now, I think Android 4.3 is just going to be a lot more under the hood stuff, and I'm totally fine with that. Best in-ear headphones for under $100, Clips S4. Those are nice. And best over-the-ear headphones for $100, I'm going to go with the Grotto SR80Is for that. Loved them. That's it. Those are the questions that I'm answering. If your question wasn't answered, feel free to, you can still shoot it to me at Twitter at MKBHD. That's where I got a lot of these questions from, and also Facebook. But I'll have all the social media links below, like where they usually are, and all the stuff I mentioned in this video will be right below that like button. But either way, that's been it. I am back in full force. More reviews, more explained videos, more technology, all kinds of stuff like that is right around the corner, coming very soon in the next few videos. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Peace.